And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel guys. We've got a bit of breaking news for you, and this comes from Sussex and specifically Bognor Regis, as a UK school has been plunged into a lockdown after a gunman was seen roaming the surrounding area. Now again, some of the witness accounts sound pretty horrific. Kids apparently seen climbing and scaling the fences in order to get out. In this video, of course, we're going to be breaking it down, going through what we currently know thus far, trying to dig a little bit deeper on this. But to be fair, since I've been doing this channel, and particularly over the last week or two, I've reported on quite a few UK schools going into lockdown, primarily primary schools. We've seen armed people storming school grounds, and quite frankly, it's becoming a common theme within this country. As always, guys, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get to 300,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so subscribing, it's completely free and really does help out, and we'll do our best to keep you up to date with all the ongoings happening in and around the country. So yes, let's get over to what has been seen. So as you can see, it's erupting on social media. Of course, a lot of the mainstream media jumping on this now as well. And essentially, the UK school in lockdown after gunmen spotted roaming the grounds. We're going to get into a couple of articles and find out what's going on. But as you can see, all throughout social media here. As you can see, let's go through some of the articles. So a Bognor Regis school has been put into a lockdown after a gunman spotted with sobbing children seen scaling fences as parents rushed to the scene. A school has been put into lockdown with distraught children allegedly scaling fences to escape after reports of a gunman on the scene. Pupils at a secondary school in Bognor Regis, West Sussex, were described by family as being left upset when kept inside and unable to call parents. Armed police from Sussex Police descended onto the coastal town today after reports that a man was seen with a gun. Schools were placed into lockdown for almost 2 hours, and police cars and dogs have been searching the area, with no suspect having yet been detained. The main school affected has been the Regis School, a secondary 11 to 18 academy with close to 1,600 pupils, which is next to the Arena Sports Centre. Parents rushed to the Regis School following advice to collect their children, while pupils from nearby schools were stuck inside the sports centre. A mother with 2 children at the school said the whole school had just been placed into a full lockdown. I have gone down to collect my children and they are just hysterical. I have never witnessed anything like that in my life. There are children in the leisure centre next door who were stuck in there for 2 or 3 hours. There are children climbing over the fences to get out. Kids are trying to call their parents and then being told off for using their phones. It just has been so poorly managed. There are dogs and probably around 5 police cars in the car park. It's absolute carnage. Parents are now turning up to pick up children. My daughter was just hysterical and sobbing. Sean Whitworth, grandfather to children at the school, said the police won't say anything to anybody. My daughter has gone down to get the kids out of the school. Lucy Mackay, receptionist at Regis School, said the police have informed us that an incident which took place in the local community, and due to that we put the school into a partial lockdown. That incident has finished and we are no longer in a lockdown. Lots of parents are here to collect their children and we have been given them that choice. Lots of children are hyped up by what is happening. They were locked up between 11:30 and around 1 to 1:15 p.m. A spokeswoman from Regis School has now said earlier today the police informed us of a live incident into a local community and asked us to put in place our standard procedures for such times. To reassure parents, the incident was not school related and we were able to continue to operate a normal school day. As you would hope and expect, students behaved perfectly throughout this time, and I would like to thank staff for their leadership and support. The well-being of our students is our highest priority, and we will always follow the advice of emergency services when requested. A Sussex police spokesperson said, at around 11:10 a.m. today, police received a report of a man seen with a suspected firearm in Firth Road, Bognor. Due to the close proximity of a nearby schools, police advised them to implement temporary lockdown procedures while searches of the area were carried out. All schools have since reopened. Wider search activity, including armed officers, is ongoing and a visible police presence continues in the area. Anyone for information and footage that may be assist in this investigation is asked to contact by police by referencing those numbers. So, okay. A big scene that's gone on there. Of course, a terrifying school being locked down, and you're going around hearing a gunman roaming about. And to see what happens in other countries or things that have happened in our country before, it is a scary ordeal. I can see it. My one thing here is this guy is still roaming the local area. He's still on a sort of manhunt, so to speak. And the police have asked us for any information. So how the heck are we supposed to know what he looks like if you don't give us a detailed, or at least a something, tell us if he's a man, or tell us something with regard to the alleged gunman cutting about. Maybe we can help you out. Maybe a little bit of detail for the people that are in the Bognor area that would be able to maybe help you out with your investigation. Maybe, that would help us out a little bit as well. But as you can see, it looks more so not related to the school this time, which is absolutely, which is good. At least the school hasn't been targeted, but equally very distressing for the children. And as stated, I've reported on a lot of these stories over the last couple of weeks with lockdowns in major schools. And this is just the latest one, a school here in Bognor Regis, a huge police presence in the area, and armed police also hitting the area as well as they look for this individual who identity we do not know. Talking about schools and talking about what happens with schools, of course there was information with regard to this. We reported on this story at the start of the year regarding Harvey Wilgoose, who was 15. He was stabbed at school. The individual, this man, or this boy, has now been released. His image has been released to the nation, and of course, apparently, he has been detained for life. So, Mohammed Umar Khan snapped after years of bullying and an intense period of fear at school. A teenage boy who murdered a fellow pupil at a Sheffield school has been detained for life with a minimum of 16 years. So, he kills somebody. He kills somebody at school because he can't control his emotions, and is going to be potentially out in 16 years' time. Mohammed Umar Khan stabbed Harvey Wilgoose with a hunting knife at All Saints Catholic High School on February 3rd. Khan must serve a minimum term in custody before he is considered for release by the parole board. He will then be subject to licence conditions for life. Passing sentence, the Mrs. Justice Ellen Bogan told Khan, "This senseless act has had devastating effects on Harvey's family. You accept you took that knife into school and intended to have it used as a weapon, albeit you said for protection. You then used that knife for Harvey's murder." The defendant's family sat on the front row of the gallery, which looks down on the courtroom. Khan was wearing a waterproof black hoodie in the glass-fronted dock, and he was flanked by 3 security guards and an intermediary. He showed no reaction as he stood in the dock at Sheffield Crown Court for his sentencing. They held him through the trial, and on Wednesday hearing wrote some notes on the pad for him to read. So this is the guy, Mohammed. He has now, of course, been released. His identity has been released, and he was the man, the boy, of course, that killed Harvey Wilgoose, getting a minimum term of 16 years. But this is what we see in our schools. So when you see lockdown, gunmen, all of these things, the other reports of what we've seen, you can understand why the children would be really scared and upset, because we know what happens within this country and what can happen within this country. So yes, Harvey here, Umar Khan, has been detained for 16 years. This was the weapon he used to kill a boy at school. Disgusting. Rest in peace to Harvey once again. I remember covering that story at the start of the year. I was genuinely shocked by it. Obviously, we didn't have any details of the individual before then. And again, as always with the sort of mainstream media, they try and psyop you and make you believe, or they don't say whose identity, whether it was from here, whether it was from there. They kept it kind of hidden. But now today, 8 months later, we finally know who the individual is responsible. He puts it as bullying, but again, these individuals can't control their emotions, take it out in horrific circumstances and end up killing people. What an absolute savage. And 16 years is certainly not long enough, because that guy will probably be radicalized in prison. Knowing our prison systems and way it is, Tommy Robinson did a big expose on the prison systems, and will be released, probably radicalized, and on the streets in 16 years time, where he'll be 31. So his whole life ahead of him after his detention. Certainly an individual like this will not be able to be reformed. Guys, let's go into the live chat. I do want to know your thoughts and opinions on the story with regard to the lockdown. And, of course, this story is Mohammed Umar Khan, who was, of course, detained for life. 16 years. And his identity revealed. Steve says, these people have no respect for blades. It's insane. Again, bringing it there for protection. Why would a 15-year-old boy need protection at a school? Yeah, exactly. Mary says, I never had a school lockdown when I was still of school age, yet it is common to hear about them nowadays. Exactly, we do. I mean, we are a lot more connected these days, but I never ever heard of a lockdown once ever, really. Chris Dank says, a normal school day, are they taking the piss? More to the point, I do want to know where, as I said, I like to help out when I can, and as I said, I'm not... lots of news articles going out, people reporting the story on YouTube. Maybe we can help out with this manhunt. The police haven't detained him. Obviously, a serious incident. Otherwise, there wouldn't be such an armed presence of armed police there. Massive amounts of police cars. Schools in the surrounding areas locked down. But they can't give us a small detail on what this guy looks like. Or girl looks like, for that matter. So how the hell can we help you out with your investigation? How the hell can we help you out with your manhunt? It ain't under control, is it? By the way. MPG Rock says, it's probably just a homeless dude looking in the bins again. Exactly. Another Abdul sharing peace again, by the looks of things, yes. 1K in the chat, hit the like button. Guys, yes, hit the like button if you haven't already. I know it's cheeky of me, but we are trying to get to 300k subscribers. Not in a rush, but, it's a good landmark to try and get to by the end of the year. I think we can get there. So if you haven't already subscribed, please do. We'll try and cover as much as we can. Victoria Brooks says, country has gone mental. Absolutely has. Absolutely has. The judge says, climbing fences, lol. You're talking absolute BS. I'm not, dude. I read an account from, of course, the witnesses. And if you watched at the start of the live stream, we would have shared those witness accounts earlier on today. I wasn't there, the judge, unfortunately. I can't say what people were doing. All I can take is from the witness accounts, which we read at the start of the thing. And they were said that the children were fearful and were scaling the fence, trying to escape the school grounds. Thank you. Hopefully, Danny Roll sorts the football club out very, very soon. Any Sheffield Wednesday fans, I'm looking forward to hearing what Danny Roll is all about. Let's see. Knowing Rangers' luck, you'll probably be shit. You'll probably be shit. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back later for some potential more updates as the day goes on. Thank you for tuning in. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit like, hit subscribe, and we'll see you all later. Take care. Peace.